I can feel your passion.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
what was the experience of writing some of the scripts for Village Headmaster, which I know you did? Was that the beginning of writing for you?
Yes, that's very good. I never used to write. Oba Somayadosnu told us in Village Headmaster, look, we have a new thing we are doing. We have a new headmaster who is not like the other headmaster. Let us write things that will be controversial and let us see. And we started writing. And it made me, somebody who is very controversial, to start writing. So I wrote the first script, which I titled The Brown Trouser. And the brown trouser was so controversial. It had to do with culture. My father gave me a trouser, and I put it on on for it to dry. Somebody took it away, and I got angry, and I said, that trouser is so important to me as the village headmaster. And I caused that anybody who took the trouser was going to be affected in 7 days on the program. And it so happened. And that frightened everybody in the village. Then they started saying that this new village headmaster has spirit power. You know, now you can say those were the kind of things. So I gave it to them and said, I thought nobody was going to like the script. Obasanjo, after reading, he said, very, very good. This is what we are going to show this week. And when we got it out, the whole people started running around to look for it. They came and watched. And that's how I became a script writer for Village Headmaster. And immediately I wrote that, I started churning out many more and many more. Then it just occurred to me that a man normally has a brain which looks like a computer. Information are fed into it. If you have too much information fed into your head and you don't release it, before you know what's happening, you run mental. So I then decided that anything I have in my head, I will start writing.
And you have since written about 10 books, if I'm correct, or over 10
I've
books.
written more than that.
I have about...
When you are talking about published.
Published?
Yes, published. Yes, you are talking about that.
You have about 10 books published?
Yes, published.
I have 4 of them. I have 4 with me here.
I still have some.
I have Osho
Igbo.
Osho Igbo, sorry. The Wizard of the Forest. This is the story of how Oshogbo came to be.
Yes.
Okay. Then I have Black Gold.
The black gold, as you all know, is the problem we are having. That's the oil sector. And how did it come about? In fact, it talks about independence. This should have been the play that we should have done to show how Nigeria, became independent, and we now had the problem of the black gold being our problem now.
The headache Nigeria has today. Okay, then you have the Promised Land here.
That is the story about how Abeokuta was formed. Abeokuta, the name says Abeokuta, under the rocks. When there was all these fights, traditional in those days and things like that, Likperu was asked to go and look for a place where the sons and daughters of Abeokuta and things like that, where they were going to be saved. And he now went and saw a place, which he now under Olumo, which he now called Abeokuta. But then the Europeans do not understand why Olumo is so important to the Abeokuta people. It is a place of refuge. So that place, so the Promised Land is just like Moses, telling them, I will take you to the Promised Land. And he found the Promised Land under the rocks. That's what that is.
Interesting. And then you have the Village
Headmaster.
Headmaster, of course.
Just
is this a
telling you
compilation of the scripts you wrote?
Some of the scripts
Some of them
I wrote,
you wrote
yes.
for the Village Headmaster. Very interesting. And then I know also that you wrote one titled Things Fall in Place. Yeah, it is.
I know you would like to talk about that.
I would like to talk about that. It is
Yes.
alleged that you said that Chinua Achebe's Things Fall Apart should be banned from schools.
Yes.
Why did you say that?
Yes, because the word things fall apart was like reminding us about the Biafran War, reminding us that we have a lot of problems, that we should fall apart. Things fall apart. The center cannot hold. And I said, why can't the center hold? We must start talking to our youths that whatever our differences, we should start finding a way of making the center to hold. So I sat down and I wrote a rejoinder play, which I now titled Things Fall in Place, to show that there are some particular reasons why we should be together, why things must fall in place. And in order to make that come out, I decided to go into a lot of studies about culture, our culture, to find out where things started falling out of place.
Chief, there are a lot of people who will not agree with you on this.
That what?
Mean, Things Fall Apart is an all-time classic.
You can, let me tell you, the point you are making is right. It is an all-time classic. But to who? It depends on the level of people you are educating. If you write a play and you say things fall apart, give it to somebody who has not gone to school. The first thing is going to say, who had the experience of the Biafran War and everything. Things fall apart. The first thing going through his mind is what happened then. But if you write something and you have the title in such a way that even, because you are talking about the young ones reading the book, and I'm saying titles, could create problems until we have gone to an extent where we have educated the young ones. And I now picked that idea, things fall apart. I had the problem of the Biafran War. Because in 1966, I left University of Nigeria, and so I graduated. And I know what happened. I know how many of my classmates died during the war.
But the context of Things Fall Apart was not the Biafra War.
No, it wasn't. Because at that particular time, there was a writing that was attacking Chief Obafemi Awolowo.
There was a country.
Huh?
Titled There Was a Country.
Yes. And that attack was pinpointing on Papa Awolowo and saying that he himself encouraged the program, whereas it was wrong. A man who went to see Ojukwu and was telling him that we should come together. A man who was behind the idea of bringing the Hausas and the Yorubas and the Igbos together on a soil where they can discuss together. Because that was what happened before the Benin crisis. It was after the Biafrans had entered into Benin that everybody was thinking, we also were thinking, that we were going to have a situation where we're going to solve the problem.
Okay.
That they now called back Victor Banjo and the others. And they were assassinated. Ifejuna and the others. They were assassinated.
Thank you very much, Chief, for joining us on the Channels Book Club. Okay. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Please keep those emails, tweets, and Facebook posts coming through any of our social media platforms displayed on your screen. We'll be happy to respond to you. My name is Olakunle Kasumo. Remember, one great book can change your life. Bye-bye.